this video, we'll discuss about what is meant by mood. This mood is the one of the important point for examination, because most of the difficult questions can be framed in this topic. So for that reason, what we are going to do is we are going to discuss this mood topic in a proper fashion. Let us dive into this. Here, this mood topic here, look at the definition first of all. Okay, so if you look at the definition, this mood is something like it's not basically the actual grammar point, okay, but we can say that it's one of the grammatical feature. So what do you mean by feature is, so it's one facility. You can call that it's like a facility. Okay, so what is this facility is, it's a grammatical feature of the verb that shows the attitude of the speaker towards the action or state of thing. Okay, so what do you mean by attitude of the speaker? Attitude of the speaker towards the action of the verb means, for example, here there is a subject and the verb plus object. Okay, so what happens here? The subject, verb and action. Okay, so the subject is something like a noun. Okay, so maybe a person. Okay, now this whatever the verb is, right? So this verb is going to be an action, and this action is going to act upon the respective object. Okay, so when this action is going to act upon the respective object, what is this in which manner is what generally we describe in the adverbs and all those things. Okay, but right now what we'll do is we will discuss that. So in what is this attitude of this respective, so something happened. Okay, somebody did something, maybe something to someone. Okay, but when you are talking about this from a speaker point of view, so what is your attitude? Okay, so that's what we are interested. Okay, so here we can give this one as a completely in the form of some box or something. Okay, just for fun. So the speaker's attitude towards something action. Okay, so somebody did something to somebody. Okay, that point, how you are actually talking about it. So that is basically the mood. Okay, so I think this is a very simple way of understanding a logic. Okay, that what is this in a figurative way. Okay, so coming to the point here, what we are trying to do is so this attitude is right. So what is this? What is the speaker actual intention towards that action? Okay, so that can be a fact. First thing is, it can be a fact. It can be a command. It can be a wish. It can be a possibility. Okay, it can be a condition, something. Okay, so fact means the sun rises in the east. Okay, I was heard the sun rises in the east. So something like a very simple fashion. Okay, and a command. Okay, please sit down, do sit down, stand up, like that. Okay, and wish. Wish means I wish I am rich. I wish I was in love. I wish I married that girl. Something like this. Is just a simple for fun. Okay. So possibility means possibility is something like this. Okay. So possibility is the sentences you can frame like this, where you can say, if I was in that place, I would have kicked the goal. If I was a team captain, so I would have given the chance to this guy. Something like that. It's just a possibilities. If I were, if I was, if I were, if I were, like that. Okay. So here, this is what generally the people do mistake. If I was and if I were. Okay, if I was is wrong, if I were is the right. Okay, that such type of questions generally you need to understand. So conditions. So conditions means what? What is a general way of saying conditions? And so like this condition means if this happens, then this thing, like that. Okay, such type of things will be able to understand. Okay, now trying to understand this mood here, there are types of moods. So as per the standard textbooks or standard grammatical guide concern, we can say indicative mood, imperative mood, subjunctive mood are the standards. But some textbooks, some people and some experts claim that this interrogative mood is also there and the conditional mood is also there. That is also comes under the same concept, grammatic point. Okay, so but that I am keeping aside because most of the people agree and disagree. So there is a lot of debate on this. But so for just a reason, I have put it there. And then so the overall picture is 5 moods. If you think there are 3. Okay. So now let us dive into one by one here. So indicative mood, imperative mood, subjunctive mood, interrogative mood, and a conditional mood. So here, coming to the first one, this indicative mood. So what is this indicative mood? Indicative mood is basically, we can say that here, to state the facts, like simple present. Okay, like the sun rises in the east. Yeah, it is there here. The sun rises in the east. She works hard. Did he finish the homework? I think she is right. Something like that. Okay, so you can state something like a facts, state something like a statements, use something like a questions, and express your opinions. Okay, so all these things generally are this. Okay, it comes under indicative mode. Remember, all tenses are written in this format, indicative mode. What is this one? Indicative mode. So yeah, that is given also here. Okay, used almost all verb tenses generally will write in a indicative mode. Indicative mood means, so it is a fact, or you can ask a question, or you express your opinion. So these 3 things you can remember. Okay, instead of asking questions, statement. Yeah, this is also the statement is also, you can put it there. Okay, so keep this point in mind. Imperative mood is just generally normal day-to-day, daily we use that. That's the thing, imperative mood. Then the next mood is imperative mood. Okay, so the first one is indicative mood. The second one is imperative mood. Okay, so in case of imperative mood, so what you are doing in imperative mood? Okay, here in this imperative mode, we will give, it's like giving some orders. Okay, orders, commands, request, advice, subject. So like understood, something like that. Okay, so that is stated here. Okay, like stop talking, please sit down. Okay, do pass the salt, turn off the lights when you leave. So like this, giving something questions is called as a imperative mode. Okay, so this, remember here, this one is a indicative, and here this one is a imperative. So they're the rhyming sounds are all will be the same thing. So just a slight difference here. Okay, and one more thing, do sit down is also there. Okay, yeah, do sit down. Like this also generally you can use. So common way of this. So this comes under category of a imperative mood. Then so these are all okay, but the main crux of the point here is subjunctive mood. So why this subjunctive mood is here? In this subjunctive mood, there is it's a very broad classification. Why it's a broad classification is generally the subjunctive mood is to express the possibility, hypothetical situations, wishes, necessity, or something like this. Okay, so you can express something like a wishes, hypothetical or imaginary situations, suggestions, necessity or demand, unrealistic conditions. So that's the reason why this becomes a very broad classification. So in this broad classification, so you have to remember small grammar issues. What are the grammar points that you should be mindful about? So what are those points? What are those points are here? So for example, first point, wish or desire. Okay, so the first category is wish or desire, right? So for example, the verb generally in this case, what happens is where for all purpose, not this one. First keep this point in mind. Okay, I wish I were rich. Usually what you do for I, the be verb will be I for am. Okay, For he, the verb will be, the be verb is is. Okay. For you, the be verb will be where. Right. So that's a normal thing. So I am rich. You were rich. He is rich. Isn't it? So or else he was rich. Okay. So that's generally is going right. So here, yeah, were rich. I was rich. I was rich. Was okay. So that generally you should be going on. So the verb generally this will vary here. Okay. So but here what is happening here? I am rich. He okay. You are rich. Anyway, okay. Yeah. Where? Yeah. That's okay. Here actually I am rich should come. So or else you I was rich you should get. I was rich. I was rich is the right one. Okay. So I was rich is the best way. But don't worry about this this one here. So here this actual grammatic rule. So that is not going to come here. The actual grammar rules that and all is going to fade away. Here whenever you are using this subjunctive mood, remember that you have to express this with the attitude of the speaker. Okay, what is the attitude of the speaker? So the verb, where verb will be, that was is not going to apply for everybody. You have to say always were. Okay. So I wish I were rich. If only he were rich. If only he were rich. If only she were rich. So actually for this actually was should come, right? Because it has happened. Look. So you want so once so what you are trying to say, you are trying to say that you are already rich, right? So you are already rich in the sense it becomes a past tense, no? So past tense is what for where was, right? But that is not going to happen here. So instead of that, you are actually saying that I wish I was rich. That is wrong. I wish I were rich is the right way. If only he were here. You should have, your intention is to say that if only he was here. What generally we'll say, right? So generally in the film dialogues also, if my brother, so my Anna is coming down, then like this. So I'll see you and so like that. Instead of that, what you are doing is just instead of giving that film dialogue, you are just giving that. Okay. So she wishes she were taller, means she is not taller. Okay. So that for was will not come for the wishes. Always you have to express in a wishes or desires, you have to express where in the sense that you are interested. Okay, so that is it. So this is basically desire. Okay, this is not okay. Then the next category is a suggestion, demand, necessity, or after certain verbs. Okay, and here this is the main concept here I would like to explain. That is in this suggestion, demand, necessity, these 3 points. What you should do is you have to take the base verb simply as such and express it. So very simple. Take the base verb. What is base verb? V1 is the base verb. Okay. V2 is the past tense. V3 is the past participle. For example, go, went, gone. So this is one, right? So likewise, so talk, talked, like this. Simple. Okay, very simple thing. Just to try to understand. Okay, so here present, presented, presented. Okay, but rest. So anyway, let us not go too much here. Just try to understand the example here. The doctor suggested that he rest. So here actually, if you come across the previous class, okay, so when we're talking about that, we said the third person singular should be very careful, right? The third person singular carry, for a verb, any verb, it carry E or ES at the end. So do you remember that logic? Okay. So but that point here, look at here, this I said in a normally this is good in a indicative mode, but in a subjunctive mode this is not going to happen. In subjunctive mode, look at here, he rested. So the doctor suggested. So whenever you see this word that, means this becomes, the verb is basically is going to take a base form verb. Not so V4 is what? V4 is V1 plus ing, right? So that is a, I'll keep it here. I would like to write here, okay? So V4 is V1 plus ing. So going becomes going. And V5 is this one. V5 is third person singular. So goes. Okay, talks. Talking. Talks. Okay, so actually this word rest should become rest. Okay, so actual is he rests, that it should come. Okay, but instead of that we are doing this, taking this one. Okay, so actually for he, third person singular should carry V5 is the right one, but instead we are using V1 here. V1 here. Why is this? Because this is a subjunctive mode. Okay, so in a subjunctive mode you have to take the base verb. Base verb is V1 base verb. This is a base verb. Base verb is a V1. So that's the point I want to convey here. Then like the same thing, she be V verb. Okay, he pay. Actually he pays. Okay, he pays is the actual sentence. Okay, if you remove this one, I insist that. So if you remove this sentence, I insist that, if you remove it, then this sentence is a wrong sentence. Okay, so this sentence should come like pays. Okay, but since you said that, I insist that he pays, he pay now. Okay, so that's the reason why this. Okay, so remember that if it is whenever you use some simple sentence, okay, and that is coming in picture, then this verb becomes base verb. So please keep this point. So that's the reason why I was saying, so the subjunctive mood is basically a very something like a confusing topic. Please keep this point in mind and practice as much as possible. Then the next one is in this subjunctive mood itself, hypothetical condition. So hypothetical condition is something like this, okay, where like it may or may not appear. Okay, hypothetical, what do you mean by what is the meaning of hypothetical? Means it's a unrealistic condition. In an unrealistic condition means you are actually hoping something, right? So that you can say this. Okay, here if you look at this, if I were you, I would leave. Means imaginary situation. Means no, you are not him. No. In your place, if I am there, I will leave. Okay, I will not tolerate this one. So like that, you want to say some dialogue. Okay, if I were you, I would leave. If he had studied, he would have passed. Okay, so what do you mean by that? If he had studied, how many people are not have failed even after studying? So that is just a simple case. Okay, so it's a unreal past, means now you can't go back, right? So you can't go back and do all these things. Okay, so such type of things is called as a subjunctive mood. So for that you should be very careful when you are using these sentences. Okay, and so this is something like a common points in an exam. So the be verb is basically is or are in subjunctive. Okay, so that is a be verb is not directly used. Okay, so you have to use is or are. Then where is replaced with was, wherever that unreal condition is there, and some error spotting sentences. So that questions if you have a look at, you can easily understand this type of model. So this is basically a theory. Okay, then The next one is interrogative mood. So interrogative mood is not that much. This, as I said, interrogative and coming up. The next one is this conditional. So they are not actually, but let us look at here. Interrogative mood is basically to ask a question. Okay. So what is asking a question? Are you coming? What are you doing? Have this finished project, like this? Okay. So simple. Are you coming? What do you want? Okay. Have you finished the project? Something simple. Okay. And what this you can actually normally they are not separated from this. Generally, in a normal sentences, whenever you are framing a simple sentence, the interrogative sentence is no different from interrogative mood. Okay. So in the sentence topic, when we discussed, so when you have a look at the sentence topic, so you have to understand that this interrogative mood is the same way you ask in the interrogative sentence. So there is no any difference here. And the last one is conditional mood. So conditional mood in the sense, so whenever you are expressing something that something might happen, you don't know that will happen or not. Okay. So if this condition happens, okay, if this is true, then this will be, okay. If I do that, then I'll do this one. Otherwise, I won't do like that. Okay. You want to give something like a tit for tat. Okay. You want to say, and you want to be just politicians do this, right? So if I win, I will do this and that, like that, right? So that statements generally can be considered as a conditional mood. So conditional mood in the sense they will throw you in a situation where in a dilemma, and then you are supposed to fall in that trap. So that's generally the conditional mood statements. So for example, look at here. If for example, one thing like type 0 type, first type, second type, and third type, these are also structures. If plus present tense, okay, this is present tense plus that can lead to a present tense. Okay. If you heat the ice, it melts. If you vote for me, I will give you so and so. If he studies, he will pass. Okay. So if I had money, second one. Okay. So these are all something like you can see the present verb here. If he, verb is basically the base verb. Okay. The second category is if plus past would lead to would plus V1. If I had money means he don't have money. In the past, okay, if I had the money, I would buy it. If I had the money, I would buy it. So now he did not buy it. Okay, that's the point. If plus past perfect plus would lead to would have plus V3. Like this, you can try. If she had gone, she would have met him. Okay, which in the past itself. Okay, past verb. If she means she did not go, had she gone, she would have definitely met. Okay, means he was actually waiting. The guy was waiting there, but she did not go. Okay, so that's the meaning of the sentence. Okay, keeping this like these sentences and all here. So just to have a difference between this mood, tense, and voice differences. Okay, so here you need to understand mood is basically entirely different from one by one. Okay, so this mood is basically the attitude of the speaker, whereas the tense basically will give us the time of the action of the present, past, or future tenses. Okay, and the active voice and passive voice. So this explains us the meaning of what is the subject, that doer. Okay, and here, okay, and if I find, so they are entirely different. Okay, so mood is basically the attitude of the speaker. Time of the, so tense means time of the action, past, present. Okay, and so voice means basically who is doing and who is receiving that end. That is what generally will be discussed. Okay, so they don't confuse with all these three things. Okay, they are entirely different one by one. And for example, some examples here. Okay, so these are common mistakes generally people do in exams. So this is the model, just four or five examples I have taken here and then trying to explain here. Incorrect use of subjunctive. If I wish I was there. So normally that is in a tense form, but in a subjunctive mode, I wish I was there. So I were there is the right one. But in this is the subjunctive. Okay, so I wish that I were there. Okay, verb after that generally becomes a subjunctive. Please keep this point in mind. So verb after that becomes a okay. She suggested that she goes. This look at here. She suggested that she goes. So actually, this verb he or she should take V5 actually, but instead it is going to take a base verb. Okay, she suggested that she go. He suggested that suggested that she go. Wrong condition tenses are generally if he will come, I will help him. So not like that. If he comes, I will help him. So here, after that, what happened here? This subject has taken V1 form. Okay, but before that, if he comes, this has taken V5 form. The verb is V5. Okay, so if he comes, I will help him. So that you be careful. Okay, so the sentence after, so before the statement, that you be careful, and after that, after the statement that comes the word after that, then the verb will take V1 form. Wrong usage of was, generally this was I was saying. Okay, so was is wrong. If I were is the right. If I was you is not. If I were you, I would not do that. If I were you, I would win the match. If I were you, I would have kicked the goal, like that. Then so this is just an outline of this, what we are going to say. Indicative mood is generally expresses facts or statements. Okay, and imperative gives command or request. Subjunctive mood gives us a wish, unreal condition, request, something like that. Okay, and interrogative mood will generally tends to ask questions, and conditional means basically hypothetical. So the one example, if you have a look at here, she eats apple is a statement. Okay, normal statement, fact or something. Okay, so command or request, if you look at, she sits down. Okay, sit down. Some unrealistic conditions like I wish I were taller. I wish I was the captain, like that. Okay, so asking some questions is, do you know him? Okay, asking question. So hypothetical condition, if I were a king, I would help all. If I were a god, I would give boons to everyone, like that. Okay, so these are just a mood topic here. So when you look at the mood, this topic, mood topic, please keep this point in mind. That is a very simple thing. What is a simple thing here is there are 3 varieties: indicative, imperative, subjunctive. Okay, and interrogative and conditional is some extra. Okay, so in this indicative mood means just to try to understand, just try to remember, just a shortcut means all the sentences are written in present, some tense forms. Okay, then if it is a imperative mood generally will ask you questions. Okay, then subjunctive mood. So subjunctive mood is where generally the crux of the problem here. Okay, so it's a very difficult thing to analyze. So where do we use subjunctive? Wishes, hypothetical, suggestions, necessity, and real conditions. Okay, in that you have to be careful. The main point you have to be careful is this one, that is this point. Okay, so not every time like a third person singular will carry the V5 form. Okay, here the third person singular will carry the base verb itself. Okay, so that's the point you should remember. So apart from this, so all the grammar points, there is nothing here too much to think about here. That is a topic related to the concept of the mood. I hope you understood this lecture, and I wish you good luck. Please prepare this mood topic seriously, and most of the time students are prone to do errors in this exam, especially in this topic. So that's the reason why I have given you something like whatever the clarity of the subject is there. So that much clarity that I have presented it to you. I hope you understood, and so if you don't understand, please go through the video again, and then what are the material that is provided in the video. So that material, just to take it and then try to practice as much as possible. You will get the point, gist out of it. Okay. I wish you good luck and all the best. So please do subscribe this YouTube channel and press the bell icon. Subscribe it, share it with your friends, and we'll meet again. Thank you.